All right, battlers, today we're taking a look at Noctowl in the Fusion Cup. We are going up against Senpai, Purple Kyogre. These battles are so much fun. Let's get right into it. In this first match, we see Alolan Sandslash going up against Frostlass. Trainers, I am really torn on whether or not to use Bulldoze or Gyro Ball in this cup. I think Bulldoze offers so much coverage. Here, I do have access to Gyro Ball, and that will do a ton of damage to Ice-type Frostlass. I'm going to go here for the Ice Punch to try and draw out a shield, and he does not take the bait. So I'm going to go here for a second Ice Punch. Again, just trying to work out that shield to gain some kind of shield advantage, but Purple Kyogre is holding strong. He does overcharge there, and I get to a third Ice Punch to bring down Frostlass. So a very interesting strategy so far, but I realize that he's trying to maintain switch advantage. I do come in here with Noctowl to face off against his Poliwrath. So Poliwrath in this cup, because Mudshot is now widely available, you're going to see a lot of Mudshot Poliwraths. I think the standard moveset for this cup is Dynamic Punch and Ice Punch. So very volatile moveset. Can definitely offer you a lot of coverage across the cup. I think I just saw a video with FP Sticks where he was using his Poliwrath's Dynamic Punch to bring down Shiftry. So that's a case of two very fast Pokemon just going at it, and I think Poliwrath is probably going to be the best fighter in this cup, but it is still to be determined. I do switch into Venusaur here to farm up extra energy, and I'm trying to land a Frenzy Plant here on the Alola Marowak, which we achieve. So my goal here is to try to get to a second Frenzy Plant to bring down Marowak, but if it goes down, I'm able to bring in Noctowl with the charged Sky Attack. So we're actually able to get to a second Frenzy Plant with Venusaur. There hasn't been much buzz about Venusaur yet, trainers, but I do think it is a great Pokemon for this cup as well. Going to the next match, this is Noctowl versus Poliwrath, and we touched on Poliwrath a moment ago, but I want to mention this. Poliwrath's Ice Punch does 70 damage to a standard Altaria, and as you can tell there, it did much less to Noctowl. That is one of the chief advantages of Noctowl, in my opinion. Avalanche is still going to hurt it really badly, so you need to be careful of that matchup. As you see there, Excadrill just got one-shotted by a Shadow Ball. I'm just testing a lot of these Pokemon out, but Excadrill is extremely glassy, adorable as it is. Here we go with Venusaur. I'm going to force a shield here with the Frenzy Plant or do a ton of damage to Frostlass. So we do get our shield that we wanted, and at this point, I'm actually going to double shield my Venusaur and absorb this with the absorb the Avalanche with the shield. I was able to farm down, and then I switch into Noctowl. Now Noctowl's got one Wing Attack worth of energy. I've got the Sky Attack loaded, so I'm feeling pretty good here, but I don't know what Purple Kyogre's last Pokemon is in the back. I go for the Psychic there. That was completely unnecessary. I probably should have gone for a Sky Attack, but we get really lucky. We're able to get to another Sky Attack here, which will bring down the Poliwrath. And as it turns out, his last Pokemon is Alola Marowak. So I'm in a ton of trouble. I try to work up here to a double Frenzy Plant, but he's going to throw the Bone Club and end that match. Speaking with Noctowl, I think the optimal moveset is Nightshade and Sky Attack, because Nightshade gives you a little more coverage against things like Bronzong, but the Psychic is not going to hit anything really hard that Sky Attack wouldn't already hit. So we're taking on this Frostlass. I do fire off the Psychic to draw that first shield. Now, Frostlass is going to need shields if it's going to be viable in this cup, and you want to burn those shields away from Frostlass as quickly as possible. I know the Avalanche will do a lot of damage. He actually goes for the Shadow Ball there, so we do shield that regardless, and then I get to another Mud Bomb with Whiscash. So Whiscash is going to bring down the Frostlass. We are one shield even. In comes Gastrodon. Gastrodon is an interesting Pokemon that I saw PK use quite a lot in our battles. Earth Power is going to hit Whiscash pretty hard, and I'm trying to get to the Blizzard, but I don't get there. That's okay. I've got Venusaur, and I fast swap here into Noctowl. So one of the chief advantages of Noctowl as well is that it's going to resist everything that Alola Marowak throws at it. Shadow Ball, Bone Club, all of it is super resisted. As you can see there, the Shadow Ball barely did any damage at all. Trainers, the Fire Spin actually does almost as much damage as a Bone Club. So if that is any kind of reference, it just shows you how insane Noctowl is. I actually go here for the Psychic. Again, I think Sky Attack is the right move. It's definitely more energy efficient. We're able to get to one more Sky Attack though, so I get really lucky. And Noctowl is very weak, so I go for the fast swap here into Venusaur, and we are going to Frenzy Plant this Mud Boy for the win. Taking a look at this game, I decide to lead my Excadrill into Altaria. So Excadrill does have access to Metal Claw and Mud Slap. It is a Steel Ground type Pokemon. I decide to swap here into Noctowl, and this is a very favorable matchup. As we saw with the Ice Punches, he's going to have to land 3 of those Ice Punches to bring down Noctowl, because these Mud Shots are resisted as well, and they're barely doing any damage at all. So I go here for the Sky Attack. and that will get shielded. So he does burn his shield there. Kind of a curious decision because I actually get to another Sky Attack. So we are putting a ton of pressure on Poliwrath. He is going to double shield it. So very good situation for us. I'm not going to shield this Ice Punch, and instead I look for the swap into Excadrill, attempting to farm here, and he's actually going to throw the Dynamic Punch. And once again, Excadrill, a poor little thing, is like a punching bag. It just absorbs all that damage. In comes Altaria, and this is not a super great situation for me because I do have that Alolan Sandslash in the back. And it's going to do well against Altaria, but I don't know what he has in the back. So I'm actually going to absorb this attack. Dragon Pulse and Sky Attack, both of them are definitely resisted by Sandslash. And here is where the Gyro Ball comes in clutch. We ran into that Frostlass, and look at that, trainers. A huge amount of damage. Yeah, I think Purple Kyogre said I made him a believer in Gyro Ball with this set of battles here, but I think there's a lot of merit to it. We actually get to an Ice Punch here, and Alolan Sandslash really shines in this video, especially when paired with Noctowl. Going into the next game, I decide to lead with my Noctowl into Gastrodon. So Gastrodon has Earth Power and Body Slam. Body Slam is a normal type attack. Earth Power is going to be resisted. In comes Frostlass, and I go right back into Whiscash, just as we saw in the first match. I'm going to decide to shield that first Avalanche. I don't think Whiscash can take 2 Avalanches, actually. It does a ton of damage, so I am able to fire off 1 Mud Bomb, trying to get to a second one, but we reach a CMP tie. Maybe a case of slight overtapping on my part, but we QSA that Mud Bomb, and we get there. That is actually going to bring down the Frostlass. So PK has retained both of his shields. I'm unable to get to the Blizzard there. I do have Noctowl, and I catch him with the Sky Attack. Whenever you come in to face off against a grass type like that, I really like to fire off my charge move as quickly as possible, trying to catch them in the swap so that they are forced to burn a shield. And of course, we know Sludge Bomb is going to do a decent chunk of damage because we learned that in Jungle Cup, so I do decide to shield that. I look for the swap here into my own Venusaur, and he swaps into Gastrodon. So that was a blind swap, I think. I go straight for the Frenzy Plant, not wanting to get hit by that Earth Power. In comes Venusaur, and I've got this match pretty much in the bag. I think he is going to throw a Sludge Bomb here, which he does, but we were able to get to our own Sludge Bomb, and we're going to tie this game up nicely. Taking a look at the next game, I decide to lead Alolan Sandslash into Alolan Marowak. Not a good situation. Fire Spin is double, super effective. In comes Excadrill, and Excadrill is a steel and ground type, so it is still taking neutral damage from the Fire Spins. I'm trying to fast move him down and really pushing Excadrill to the limit here. I actually try to knock him out, but we lose both of our shields in the process. So we have a huge uphill battle here that's going to be very hard to overcome. I let the switch timer tick down, and it forces me to bring out Noctowl. So here comes an Avalanche, and you know this is going to hurt, and it does. Frostlass is a great bird killer, if you will. It does bring down Altaria and Noctowl pretty fast. I think I'm still looking for something with an Ice Shard attack, though, that is viable in this cup because Ice Shard does so much more damage than Powdered Snow. I do go straight for the Gyro Ball because why not? This match is pretty much over. I'm going to try to bait the second shield out of Frostlass here, and we do get it. So we did remove those shields, but I don't think there's any chance we're going to come back. Avalanche does bring down our Sandslash, and I've got the Sky Attack stored up to bring down Frostlass, but in comes Altaria, and the Dragon Breaths will win it. Trainers, I had so much fun facing off against Purple Kyogre in these matches. They were a lot of fun. As you can tell, he doesn't have a strong Noctowl counter in his lineup outside of Frostlass, so he has a hard time countering Noctowl, and he was even talking about bringing Alolan Sandslash back onto his team after these games. I really think you need a strong flying type counter in this cup, and it really depends on how you want to structure your team, but I definitely think Alolan Sandslash is a great option. Noctowl is just such a bulky Pokemon, though. I'm going to land this Frenzy Plant here against the Frostlass. He does get shielded. So he is forcing me into a position here where my Venusaur is going to fall, but that Frostlass is pretty weak. So I actually bring in Altaria to finish it off. Shields are down. I've got a little bit of energy stored up as well. So his next Pokemon is Gastrodon, and I go straight for the Dragon Pulse. I do think this will do a little more damage than Sky Attack, and then I go straight into Noctowl. So Noctowl is going to face off against Alolan Marowak, and again, we know how this matchup is going to go, trainers. I do think there is some merit to running Alolan Marowak with Fire Blast, as it would do a little more damage to Noctowl, but still, it's such a bulky Pokemon. Did you see that? I promise the Bone Club might even do less damage than Fire Spin. It's really, really insane. Trainers, I was not a believer in Noctowl at all until Hero of Ages video came out. and now I definitely think it is the best big bird in the cup. It's definitely more reliable, more consistent than Altaria, even though Altaria has some great matchups. Definitely check out Noctowl. I will leave a link to Hero of Ange's video describing the flying types in the description down below. Here we go with Whiscash versus Altaria. I'm trying to work up here to the Blizzard, and because I invested a shield, I'm trying to make him think that I want to go for the Blizzard, so I go for the Mud Bomb bait instead, and we do get that first shield. So our mind games work perfectly, and now here I go with the Blizzard. I'm either going to force that second shield, or I'm going to take Altaria, and we force that second shield. So I don't have my Alolan Sandslash with me, which is not a great situation, because Altaria is still going to be very hard to deal with without a flying type counter. I do work up here almost to the Sky Attack, but he's got so much energy from farming the Whiscash. I allow that Sky Attack through, and then I'm going to go here for the Psychic. So I definitely think Sky Attack is the right move to use here. I was also experimenting a lot in these matches, trying to figure out what I could do to kind of work around the matchups. I realized that I'm not going to get to a Blizzard there, and my plan is foiled by this Altaria. It's just so insanely powerful. I do decide to shield here with my Venusaur, but I don't think I'm going to be able to come back from this. In comes a Frostlass, and I actually go for the Sludge Bomb. It's been so long since I did this matchup, I forgot the Sludge Bomb was resisted, so definitely the wrong move. You definitely want to land those Frenzy Plants as much as possible when you're facing off against Frostlass. So PK takes that round. We go into the next game. I lead Alolan Sandslash into that Frostlass. So we saw this in the very first game, and we're seeing it again. In comes Alolan Marowak, and I go right into my Noctowl. So everything is working out so far in this match exactly how I planned. I do need to get better at my flying type animation. I know there's the trick where you put your finger on the corner of the screen and you can catch all of the bubbles. I just need to find that place with Noctowl. I know with Skarmory, it's at the very tip of the wing, so if you know where to place your finger, comment down below and let me know, because I'd really like to learn how to get better at that, and I'm sure a lot of trainers reading the comments will learn as well. So in comes that Frostlass. I'm going to try to force a shield here with a Sky Attack. Even though it's good at countering Noctowl, it still is so glassy. You need to protect it if you're going to use it. He does have a ton of energy, and I try to go right into my charge move there, but I'm going to decide to shield, thinking that was a Shadow Ball, and I hope he lost track of my energy because I go for the Ice Punch, but he does not flinch. He actually absorbs that attack, no problem. Here I'm expecting a big attack like Shadow Ball, and it is. So I go for a few more Powder Snows here, and I go straight for the Ice Punch. Again, trying to bait these shields out of Purple Kyogre, and I finally get one. I have a little bit of Swish shenanigans there going on, not sure what I was thinking. In comes the Shadow Ball, but he spent his energy, so I'm confident bringing in Altaria. Here, he actually goes for the Sky Attack, and this is one of the ways you can win the Altaria mirror match. He goes for Sky Attack, but I go for straight Dragon Pulse, and we are actually going to bring him down right here, and then hopefully we have enough Dragon Breaths, and we do, to beat the Frostlass. 2 more games to go. I decided to lead with the Big Bird Noctowl against Poliwrath. Trainers, I'm telling you, Noctowl is so much fun and so reliable. I know I haven't talked about it that much in this video, but I think it's so good that you don't notice it's there until it's gone. For example, I've been able to really stretch out so many matchups in this video so far with Noctowl. It's a great generalist. I think it might even be an excellent safe swap for your team as well, or just a great lead, especially if your opponent doesn't have a strong flying type counter like an Alolan Sandslash. Noctowl is a wonderful lead for your team. We're going to decide to shield that Ice Punch there, and I'm trying to wing attack down, but I know that Poliwrath charges quickly, so I sneak in maybe one more fast move, and then I fire off the Sky Attack. In comes Altaria, and I'm going to go here for the Sky Attack as well. So with that energy lead, we're able to get to another Sky Attack, again with the great. I hate it when I get great. I want to get excellent every time. We're almost able to get to another one, but I have my Alolan Sandslash ready, and I know I can tank whatever this is. A lot hinges here on Sandslash because I do have that weak, squishy Excadrill in the back, as I'm sure you've noticed in this video so far. We take 2 Sky Attacks and farm down, and then his last Pokemon is going to be Venusaur. So definitely a great situation for us. I'm going to fire off this Ice Punch here and then go for one more in rapid succession to bring down the Venusaur. For the last game of the video, I decided to leave Venusaur into that Alolan Marowak. Not a great situation for us, so I swap into Noctowl. Noctowl is going to face off here against Frostlass, but I've got a ton of energy, and I'm going to go straight for the Psychic here, which does get shielded. So again, definitely should have gone for the Sky Attack there. I think just like Sudowoodo and Timeless with the Rock Slide, you want to go for that Sky Attack at pretty much all the time, as often as you possibly can. We go for a Sky Attack here, and it does get double shielded. So Purple Kyogre is trying everything he can to get rid of my Noctowl, but I am not going to allow him to do it. I'm going to go here for the swap into Alolan Sandslash. So he's going to spend his energy here on what I assume is a Shadow Ball, and it is. Bringing our Sandslash down low, in comes Alolan Marowak, so he has worked himself into a more favorable position here. I'm going to go for one Ice Punch, and we don't get to the second one. I do have Venusaur, so I'm just going to send Venusaur out. I do think PK wins this one. He played very, very well, and he learned after all of our battles that you need to commit a lot of resources to stopping Noctowl if you don't have a hard counter. So here we go with Noctowl, and I'm trying to work up to a double Sky Attack because I know it's probably my only chance. I go for one here, and we're able to Wing Attack him down. And then here comes Altaria. So definitely not a chance to win here, but trainers, I really hope you enjoyed this footage with Noctowl. It was a lot of fun to use, and I'm loving it in practice so far. Definitely leave me a like, a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you think Noctowl is that good or Altaria is better. And then subscribe if you really love it and you want to see more. I'll see you in the next video.